can begin now. That is also live. So yesterday we looked at dissatisfaction no matter what we do. So now the question comes, what we should do. What next? Let's say we are having this dissatisfaction, then what is that which helps us to get on the other side? So there is two things. One is sankata and another one is asankata, that is conditioned and unconditioned. So everything is conditioned, so there should be something which is unconditioned also. Okay, to get into the unconditioned, the way out is that not only about understanding anicca dukkha anatta, one should also reflect upon the patisamutpada. For that, we need to first establish we have to first remove the 10 immoral deeds. So that is the starting point. Now the question comes, why that is the starting point? That is the starting point because of a reason that a being establishes in three ways. One is animal, another is human, and third is deva. So in our normal dealing with people, we can see all the three what we can say, the nature or guna, what they represent. So let's take the first case. There are people who call themselves as foodie. They love to relish lot of different varieties of food and they keep on eating. So now the mind is established in hogging. So like a pig or some other animal or squirrel or whatever it is. So there can be some animals traits. So as the mind strengthens it, so it becomes. Okay, so the human being or the human mind is able to establish itself in eating. Okay, so that is quite evident. If we can see something similar, there would be people who get very excited, they follow politics, they are totally into arguments, debates, discussion, fights, proving themselves that they are the best and something like that. That's again an animal trait. There's some people who believe in having the territory. So basically all the countries which are formed are territorial, just like animals. So all the other beings, they do the aggression of the territory, including dog. So they create their territory, and if somebody comes to their territory, then they start howling at other dog. Just like when a country is there, another set of people try to invade, so there is war and all those kind. So basically the mind establishes in something called as trichak yoni, wherein the raga dvesha moha equates itself into equal proportion. So then the being automatically transforms itself into that kind of a body. So while being human, its affinity is towards that kind of life. Then comes the human. In the human world, it's more about having pleasure and pain cycle. So there would be equal amount of pain and equal amount of pleasure. So what the human being does in this realm of existence is to safeguard himself or herself and trying to make things more and more comfortable. So as it starts accumulating, the accumulation itself is an animal characteristics. So he keeps on becoming more and more miser. The more the miser, the more the person gets into an animal tendency. Then he can change his views or ways and then become a deva. Okay. Now what is this deva? Deva is a person who will gift. And normally deva doesn't care about offering or helping others and doing those kind of things. So animal remain as an animal and a deva remain as a deva, but the manushya, human, has both the qualities. So he can take another form called as asura, demon. So the human mind is capable of developing demonic mind. It is capable of developing animalistic mind. It's also capable of having a Brahma mind and also the mind of a Deva. So these are what is there. So what Buddha did is, one second, okay, now it is up. So what Buddha did is to really help the human being to establish more of Deva qualities than of the animalistic qualities. So let's look one of that. If we take the aspect of stealing, generally stealing is an animalistic state or demonic state. Both have stealing as their primary thing. And also the harsh speech, that is completely animalistic in nature. So and the third one is kameshu michachara, which is having sexual intercourse with people or majorly feminine who are not willing to have it, meaning protected by their husband or by mother or father, or like we had gone through that. So what would happen to such a mind? Such a mind will take the animalistic birth. So in an animalistic birth, there is no gender biases, that is good, but at the same time anybody can do anything. Any animal can do anything to anyone. So there is nothing to stop. So if we were to stop somebody from going into the apayas, the minimum thing that has to be removed is the bodily action, which includes killing, because that is part of animal, then stealing, that is also part of animal, and finally it is about the improper or rather not the right sensual practice or whatever it is. Okay, with these three removed, basically the being would not be born down. So that's the first thing. And now comes the second thing, is that speech. Now because of the speech, which is either telling lies or trying to, what we can say, putting one against the another, or if the person is doing harsh speech and also indulging in talks which are not really of any importance. These four are demonic. Okay, they can put the person in a real bad existence. It can be demonic, it can be ghostly, it can be whatever. So basically all these four take to a wrong place of existence. Then comes abhijja and vyapada. These will take directly to hell. So out of the, and then you have another one which is samadhitti, that is michaditti. So that's another one which is mental. So that can be in the human realm, or it can again take hell realm of existence. So when we meet people, we need to be aware that we are meeting all these 10 kinds in some combination. Any person whom we meet. And there would be people who are in the Deva realm but as humans. Then there are people in human realm who are human. They keep on accumulating and then pursuing, and perseverance, trying out different things to make themselves comfortable. Then there are people who are having real animalistic attitude. They can do anything. As long as they get what they want, they will do whatever it is. So basically these three characteristics which are there in a being has to be changed. So the first thing as a samadhi we need to establish is this removal of these 10 immoral deeds. If we were to keep these 10 immoral deeds, then no matter how much Dhamma we learn, it's of no use. So when we meet people, what is that I need to do? If somebody is shouting, immediately I need to know that that being is already in an animal realm of existence. It's like a dog shouting. If I shout along with the dog, then there are two dogs. One dog by nature, it's a dog. Another one, human being, now turned himself as a dog. So what I need to do then immediately is to start metta bhavana. Okay, now why I need metta bhavana is that I need to see where this being is going to head. So this is the practice. It's not easy coming by, but that's what we need to remember, is that we can see this being is going to pretty soon exhaust itself and establish in the hell realm of existence. So I need to be very, very, very compassionate and also have loving kindness. Why loving kindness? Because it has misunderstood itself. It's going on a different space than what it is intended to be. So for that reason, I need to have a good compassion also, because I can't do anything. I can't go and stop it from howling, because it's going to keep on howling. So I can't go to a dog and say that, hey, you know what, you're not able to understand my words, so why don't you stop howling? It will increase its howling. So what I can only do is to walk away from there, or just stand still. It will shout as much as it can, and after some time it will go away. In the same way, somebody might be insulting, somebody might be backbiting, somebody might be abusing, somebody might be creating stories. All these are something to do with demonic characteristics or animalistic characteristics can happen. And some when we meet another set of people who are very hardworking, and nothing is working out for them. So nothing is working out for them is because they have not given when they were supposed to give. So because of that reason, nothing is working out for them. So they have just started their human life. So it'll be a while. Whereas if I have a lot of things, what I need to know is that I have given a lot of things earlier, so I have a lot of things now. So you give more, you get more. That's the Deva Guna. You give less, you get nothing. And that is either animal realm or it's a human realm. So human life has both the Deva and also the animal. So out of the four, Brahma, Deva, and then this one Triyakyoni or Trichakyoni, and then you have the demonic characteristics. We will have all the four in some combination as a human. Sometimes the mind is of a Deva, sometimes the mind is of a demon, Rakshasa, and sometimes the mind is of an animal, sometimes the mind is of a Manushya. So there are these many characteristics it can have. And very few times the mind is of a Brahma, when the creativity is the highest. So if somebody is a very good painter, or somebody is a very good poet, or somebody is a very good literature person, or somebody is good in creating technology of which is never there, he creates a new technology. 1 second. So when somebody keeps on doing like that, in more of the creativity, that means the mind was of a Brahma. Now it is not there because the body is human. It's like we have worn one dress, but our characteristics might be different. So the Buddha's recommendation here is that you start with removing of Dasa Akusala, 10 immoral, and replace it with 10 moral. So just copy paste. So you create a Sila, Samadhi, Bhavana and Panya, so that you are able to take care of these issues which comes up with relation to not having a proper foundation. Okay, so this is the first thing we need to see when we have unsatisfactoriness. So first thing, it's very difficult to see unsatisfactoriness, and let's see we are able to see the unsatisfactoriness nature. That means we are able to understand the dukkha. So because we are able to understand little bit of dukkha even at a very high level, then establishing the 10 moral instead of the 10 immoral deeds helps the person to not to go to the 4 lower realms of existence. So this is called as apaya. Paya means foundation, means no foundation. So apaya means one who is going to a place which doesn't have any foundation. There is nothing as a foundation. So now upaya, u plus paya, going above the foundation. So one is below the foundation, one is above the foundation. Upaya is the way out. So the way out is to have a very clear information on what needs to be done. So the good news about Buddha Dhamma is that it lays down what is that you need to do all the time, or what I need to do all the time as a person. So what I need to see is every person I'm going to come with, every animal I'm going to see, every bird I'm going to see, every insect I'm going to see, I'm going to watch the reason with which it has appeared in that way. That's the first thing. I don't have to really see that, oh, this is an insect, this is a mosquito, this is this, this is that. No. What is the cause for the consciousness to take on this body? And then we will come to know that it has done something out of the 10 immoral, so much that it had to take that kind of life. So the condition matched. Whereas my condition today is that Raga, Dvesha, Moha is not in the same quantity, and that's the reason this consciousness has taken this kind of body. But when I see another Manushya, another human, the body is human, but the mind need not be human. So looks can be deceptive. It looks human, but it's not really human. It can be Deva, it can be Brahma, it can be Manusa, it can be the Preta, it can be of demon, Asura, then it can be of these Triyak Yoni, which is animals. It can be even of Niraya, hell realms. So who are these hell realm people? They are what the medicine calls them as schizophrenia. And those people, they literally are transported from hell into human realm because some good nature has come, but everything else is of the bad nature. So they start hallucination. They feel somebody is out to kill them. They also feel that somebody is watching them. They also feel voices, hear voices and all that. But since they have come into the human realm of existence, what they can do is, if they are able to get into a good company and able to get the nature changed, then the schizophrenia can go away. But unfortunately, there is nothing in medicine that can cure it. Okay, and also the autistic people, they are not from hell, they are transported from being a cow in the past life, and now it is turned human. So it has no idea what it is. Okay. Now we love cows, but when that same cow becomes human, we don't know what to do with it, because it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay wherever it is, because there is no intelligence in it. Whereas some people are extremely smart and they're extremely cunning. So they are coming from the jackals or hyenas. They got promotion. Okay, like that we can keep on seeing each individual. We don't have to identify like that. It's just to see how diversity is this existence of human, because you'll get all kind of people. Then there are people who are hooked on to religion. There are people hooked on to tradition. There are people who are hooked on to rituals. There are people who are hooked on to ideologies. There are people who are hooked on to opinions. There are people who are hooked on to debates. There are people who are hooked on to anything they find is not okay. So these are the people who are in search of unhappiness. Because the food, what they're going to eat is unhappiness. So generally they are unhappy. So those people turn themselves into preta. Because that is how pretas work. They're unhappy with every damn thing they get. So even if something is working, they'll find something which is not working in that. If they reach in time somewhere, they say that, oh, only once we have reached in time. If something has worked in their favor, so what's the big deal? So they're neither happy, and the people associated with them will also not be happy. And those people get associated with them who have the preta mind. Otherwise, there's no way they can get associated with that. So the only respite of coming out of this madness, it's a madhouse, is to keep on doing metta bhavana. There's no other way. It's a risk we have taken to be here. So we have to redeem ourselves. Nothing anybody can do. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is removal of dasa akusala or immoral deeds, and secondly, we need to study the nature of everyone. We don't have to name them like that or go and say that you look like a jackal or a tiger or a lion or whatever it is. Instead, apply metta bhavana, because that being is going to go to that existence sooner or later. It's just a matter of time. Yes, Shreyas.
Just so when scientists say that they have made a discovery that there are new species which are coming into existence, or there are species which are getting extinct. If you take the extinct part, does that mean that the consciousness is not going into that body anymore? Because right. People have to committing those kind of things which will give them that body next. Can that be taken like that?
No. Extinction of a species is a natural process.
Okay. Yeah.
Either due to killing, due to whatever, poaching, whatever human being do, but ultimately that is how it is. So it's not what body it is going to take. It can be thousands and thousands of species.
Yeah.
Okay, so even in the Hindu tradition, they believe in 84 lakh species. So can be any amount of species, but each species has its own characteristics. So even if one species were to go away, let's say some animal is not there, but being an animal is an animal in anyway, it doesn't really matter. So just because one species is not there doesn't mean that animalistic tendency will go away. It can have another set of animalistic tendency which fits to that. So like that. Okay, so we need to watch each person's behavior. Okay. And when we watch, we find very startling results. Some people have good amount of money, good health, good family. Some people have not good money, not good health, and not good family. Some people have fights in the family, but they have money and they have health. Some people don't have any fights in the family, but they have no good health, but they have a lot of money. In some people, there is no money, there is no what I can say, the family, but they are very good in health. So we get different combinations. The differences has arrived because that their particular deed is different. So when the consciousness enters into the womb, it enters with all of these characteristics. So it chooses the parent who are precisely what it is. And that sibling also will be like that. That is the sister or brother or whatever it is. So then we can find that some person has an animalistic tendency, another has a deva tendency, another has a human tendency, another has a combination of tendencies and all that. So depending upon the nature of the person, Buddha recommends what kind of medicine that has to be given. Okay. So it is also called as medicine Buddha because he knows the medicine for that mental ailment. Now what Buddha is trying to do is to ensure that whatever it is, this person doesn't go into the niraya, the 4 lower realms, that is apaya. So he is trying to change everyone at least to be a sotapanna, because that gives you a human realm. What would a human realm do? Very simple. A human realm, actual one, not what we have today. Namo Buddhaya. Gadi se. Yes, enjoy. Namo Buddhaya. Very happy. Okay. Good. Then I will continue. You can hear. Okay. So, the human realm, if going by Buddha, a Sotapan, will have a very reduced dasa akusala. Not that he's removed everything, but it's so reduced that he will never, his thoughts does not come to steal, to have a sexual misconduct, and also, 1 minute. Okay, so will not have the mind to do sexual misconduct, or does not have mind to steal, or does not have mind to kill. 3 things. Killing directly goes to animal. Stealing is another behavior of animal, very typical of animalistic behavior, because it has highest amount of insecurity, and so it doesn't know how to get the food, so it believes in stealing. So if you have seen some birds, they steal the nest. A very classical example is this crow and then cuckoo. The cuckoo bird never keeps any nest. It lays its egg in the crow's nest. And when the crows come to know that it is cuckoo, it is too late, because by which time the egg is hatched and the cuckoo will make use of that nest. So the crow has to keep on checking that its nest is safe. Okay, so stealing is very easy. And you've also seen dog's life, sexual misconduct. Any dog can lay siege on any female dog. It's okay. There's nothing like there's a wife or something like that. Any dog can be with anything. Doesn't matter. So that is about sexual misconduct. Then killing, which you are already seeing. Any animal will kill another animal and eat. What does human do? Human does stealing, also does sexual misconduct and also kills. He might or she might not kill somebody physically, but they do a character assassination. So they will say bad things about a person in such a way that whatever is not true is made true. So he would or she would not hesitate to tell lies, hesitate to backbite, hesitate to harsh speech, and hesitate to create stories, and is always jealous, that is abhiccha. Then always aggressive, irritated, all that, and anger, vyapada. Then has a very wrong opinion about everything, basically. So these 10 then create a good breeding environment for somebody to get into the apaya. So what Buddha says is that my Dhamma will at least help you to be a human being. Dumb human being, smart human being, whatever it is, at least you are a human being. So you're not going into the apayas. So if a human being is able to understand the dissatisfaction of anything he or she does, no matter where they are going, no matter how they are staying, if they are able to see this dissatisfactory thing or unsatisfactoriness, then that suddenly the Buddha Dhamma starts to work, because he will now see the apaya. Okay, so the practice first is the dasa kusala. Till that time no insight will happen, no matter how much one tries. So after knowing that it is unsatisfactory, the second immediate thing is to reduce the dasa kusala. With that not being there, insights will start slowly. So when that starts working, and with anicca dukkha anatta properly grasped, what would happen? Then the person is ready for having a very tranquil body. So now he is fit or she is fit for kaya gata sati. So after establishing the dasa akusala removal through the establishment of precepts, 5 precepts or 8 precepts or whatever it is, or taking the 10 dasa akusala itself as a precepts, wherein you keep on saying that panatipata veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami, and you take all the other 4 also, like then you say panatipata veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami, adinnadana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami, kamesha michachara veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami, musavada veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami, pisunavacha veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami, parusavacha veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami, sampapalapa veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami. Then abhiccha veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami, vyapada veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami. Then finally michchaditti veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami. So 4 in speech, 3 in body, and 3 in mind, totally 10. Now what is sikkhapadam and what is samadhiyami? Sikkha is to learn, pada, walking. Sikkhapada is learn to walk. It's called walk the talk. Simple. If I am walking the talk, it means I am doing it. So I don't require somebody to give me testimonial saying that, Vilas, you are a very generous person. How do they come to know? Adinna dana is not there. I become dani, donor. Instead of stealing, I am giving even whatever I have. That takes to the deva. That's the advantage now. Whatever I am holding, if I am giving it, it literally makes the mind transform itself into deva. If I am holding somebody's also along with mine, it directly takes me to animal. So Sikha Pada, Sikha is to learn, Pada is to observe, walk the talk. Samadhiyami, staying in the same state from morning till night. In every action, somebody says, this is the company laptop, do something. How does it matter? Who cares? It's stealing. So I'm getting lured by this whoever is saying something to me. So what that would lead me to? Simple. It takes me to Asura. That's all. Nothing will happen. Now, will it take me to the next life itself in Asura or few lives in human? That we don't know, because it depends on the bhava. That means if a human life is 10,000 years, let's say, and every life is 100 years long, so that means I can be 100 years as a human being, or 100 times I can be a human being before that energy exhausts. So if it is 1,000 years and every year, every life is 100 years, then I have only 10. So human life is more than the animal life, and deva life is more than a human life. So what it means is that if I become a human and I have a deva guna characteristics, then most likely I would be reborn in a deva realm, because that is where my mind gets established. It's not somebody pushes me into the deva. The mind automatically gets established in that realm of existence. So basically, if we see, it's the mind which gets established in anything. If I'm looking at a girl and I'm eating her in my mind, I'm not physically touched her, but I'm literally eating. So the mind has established itself is there as an asura, or it has already established as a preta, it has established as a animal, or it has established something apart from human, apart from deva. So I'm very finding that woman or that girl or whatever very sensual to touch. So now what happens? Kameshu michachara is happening. So what I need to do? Ve Ramani. Ramani means entertainment. Ve Ramani means to cut the entertainment. So Kameshu michachara ve Ramani sikha padam samadhiyami is I will learn how to walk without sensual misconduct. Samadhiyami is entire. Now what is that I need to do? I need to bring the fear of observation. That is what Sampajanya is all about. Observation, that if I don't check the mind can establish myself in that realm. So when I see somebody and I feel attractive, the first thing I need to see is that I'm stealing. Why it is happening that way? Because of the dasa kusala. Simple. So what I need to do? Keep on working on it. It's not that tomorrow itself it is going to go away. I need to keep on working. It works. After that, that interest in that man or a woman will go away. Okay, once it goes away, it is established. So there is no further establishment required on how should I further establish. No, there is no need. It is automated. So it keeps on automatically taking you there. You don't have to do anything special. It's like you're sitting in a plane as a pilot, so you have gone certain distance. Now you can put it on autopilot. There's no need for you to watch what that how the plane is going to fly. Nothing is going to happen because you have put it on autopilot mode. So this is what we need to first understand, that every category of people we see have these three characteristics: one of a human, another one of a deva, another one of an animal. The remaining preta and brahma, that might not be quite visible, okay, but yes, that is also a possibility to have. Now this much is sufficient to work. So when somebody comes and stands in front of us, as they start speaking, you just observe, and you will see they start their trait. What would they start their trait? They either greedy, so you know, oh, lobha has arrived in them. Then they are very upset. Then you know, okay, dvesha has arisen in him. Then they are very much attached to a religion or a tradition or a country or language or custom or this or that. That means they are in moha. So now what you can do? Nothing. Now what happens if somebody is having, as an example, if somebody has a very heavy indulgence or attachment to language, what he would do? He would not like any other language spoken except for what he loves people should speak. So now what they would do? They will wear t-shirts which says that this is my language. You are here, please bear in mind. So they are creating territory. Now when somebody creates territory in the mind is already animal. Only animal creates territories. So we are calling countries, and the country is a territory. We are calling state is a territory. Then we are calling district is a territory. Then we are calling a city, the city is also a territory. Then we are going to call a town, and town is a territory. Then we are calling it as neighborhood, that is a territory. But to a level that the individual also is treated as a territory. So when the mind becomes individualistic, totally selfish, and it's ready now to enter into the niraya, which is hell. So when somebody has a self-view, it directly lands that person in hell. So what Buddha saw was that he was not imagining, he was not hallucinating, he was not trying to read up things and explain. He was, or anybody can see this, not only Buddha, a person with keen eye who doesn't have much of taints or these impurities can really see that a person whom he is interacting is a deva. The person whom is interacting is a Brahma. A person who is interacting is a Manava or a Manusya. And a person he is going to interact is of a Preta. He can interact, is an Asura. He interacting is an animal. So he says Pana. Pana means life, prana. And there is a Sanskrit word called prani. Similarly, in Pali it is pana. Again, same word. Okay. So if we talk animal in English is prana. Prani. Okay. So you call it a prani varga. Varga means division. So that being is established in an animal. So when it establishes itself in animal, or it is going to hell, let's say two things. Animal behavior ones are far superior than the hell going ones. Hell going ones should have to spit fire. So some people are always on fire. So when you see somebody spilling fire, try to handle it. It's fire, it's going to burn. But I should not get fired up, because if I get fired up, it means that tendency is already there with me. So that tendency is there. If that tendency is there, it is going to bring in fire from inside me only. So now there are two hell beings. One hell being who is already in hell. Another hell being who is not supposed to be in hell is being pulled into hell. So the mud is sliding down. So when the mud is sliding down, a smart person will move away from there, not stand in between. Because the mud doesn't know that you are a saint. So when somebody is shouting, somebody is howling, somebody is creating some nonsense, that is not the time to explain the facts. That's not the time to give them ice cream. That's the time to listen to them and keep on sending metta to them. In the process, if they slap, in the process, they harm you, it's okay. Reason, if I harm, the mud sledge is happening. Why did I enter into that state? Why am I a witness of that state? Because some point in time, I have done a similar thing. Now it is getting reproduced. That situation. I wished for it. Or rather, I had done something like that. Now why it doesn't happen to everyone? I'll give you one straightforward example. So my son 2 days or 3 days back, he had Sunday and Monday, they had taken them to this some places where they grow these medicinal plants near Bangalore. Then he came back, and Tuesday he developed some cold. Wednesday the cold subsided. Thursday he went to college. Tuesday he was on leave. Wednesday he went to college. Wednesday night he got fever. Thursday he took rest. Friday, yesterday, his college, which is a medical college, they said that you have to take RT-PCR test. So we went there. So there was one son and one father who is in search of a doctor, government doctor, who can sign the document for some school or something like that. Now that doctor, that person who had come, got very much enraged because they were sending him from this hospital to that hospital to another place, and they are not able to tell him where the doctor is. So I was watching this whole drama happening in front of me. So he lost his cool. He started shouting. He said that I am a faithful taxpayer. How can you do this? How can you do that? And all kind of things. Looking at this sound, another person from BBMP, he came outside He heard him through little bit. After a few minutes, he got angry, but he did not shout at him. Good thing is, he did not shout back. But the other ladies, they got worked up with his shouting. And after some time, this person left. He said, tomorrow morning I'll come at 10 o'clock and I will do this, I'll do that and all that. Now let's say because of his shouting, let's say he's suffered a heart attack and he died. What would happen to his mind? Directly goes to hell. Non-stop. Doesn't matter whether he had a son, whether he was going to talk to a government servant or whatever, it doesn't matter. What came out was anger. So where was this anger? Was with him only. It was only waiting for an opportunity to come out. So with this, it's going into the hell. Why hell? Because that's a hot place. So we all have anger, but the anger keeps on subsiding as we go into Deva realm. There's no anger. There's only greed, no anger. Because of the greed, they come back. That's the problem. The only problem with Deva is that they want to enjoy, keep enjoying. And second beautiful point about a Deva is that they remain youthful forever. So they land up as a youth and they die as a youth. Nobody can find a Deva body. No, even if I have a wife right now in the Deva realm, they cannot find where I went. Only when the mind takes on a human body, then this body gets developed. Otherwise, the karma starts with human. There's another level of a Deva where the karma starts, but this gross body manifestation happens in human, becomes thicker and thicker as it goes by. So animal bodies are more thicker. Have you ever observed why should a cow have such huge body? It doesn't harm anyone. It sits wherever it is sitting. It is just there. It doesn't do anything. It just eats grass. And it gives milk. And also it gives so much of thing for all the people. But even then, with all of these good qualities, why is that this animal has to suffer so much with that heavy body? It's so heavy, its teeth looks like so big, this nose is so big. Why should it have horns? Anyway, it doesn't kill anyone. By its own nature, if somebody tries attacking, then it starts to do something. Otherwise it doesn't. Why? This is something. Why all animals have horns? All the asuras also have horns. So they are interlinked. As you turn human, there is no horn. As they turn Deva, it is youthfulness. So why do we love to be youthful? Because we resemble the Deva or the Devi, basically. So the soft skin than the hard skin. The soft skin is of a Deva. So it is showing two things. One, you have a potentiality of becoming a Deva. You also have a potentiality of becoming an animal. You choose. So what Buddha did is, looking at it, he said, first established 10 moral instead of 10 immoral. Remove the 10 immoral. When you remove the 10 immoral, automatically you are able to see how the world is. Neither anybody is kind to anyone, nor anybody is cruel to anyone. It's the mind which establishes nothing that can be done. And there are some people who would like to change the world. They cannot, because world is created in their mind. It's not created outside. No world is outside. It's there in the mind. Supposing I love to watch cricket, I have a cricket world. If I love to watch football, I have a football world. If I would like to watch tennis, I have a tennis world. If I want to watch movies, I have a movie world. If I want to watch a serial, I have a serial world. If I want to go with Dhamma, I have a Dhamma world. So everything is a world. If somebody says that there is no world, that is also wrong. And somebody says that there is always the world, it's also wrong. Why? World comes into existence because of conditions. If there is no condition, there is no world. But when conditioned, you can't say it's an illusion. So we can't say Jagat is Mithya and Jagat is Satya also. They both are wrong. In what way it is wrong? In the way that Jagat Mithya, that is illusion, is true when it is unconditioned, but when it is conditioned, it is real. So some people keep on thinking that world is an illusion when they are not an illusion. Some people think that world is dual, that is, consciousness is there, world is also there, they both are dual. That is also wrong. Because if the condition is removed, there is no world. Now the problem is, how do we uncondition? That's the problem. So in a conditional reality, we can't create an unconditional existence. So we have to drop the conditionality. So Buddha Dhamma teaches how to uncondition the mind. That's the whole process. Okay. So I think we will end here. Or if you have any questions, we can do it. Otherwise, we will continue maybe tomorrow from 6 to 8. Or do you want me to continue? I don't know. What? Okay. What about other? No. Is it becoming? No, that is correct. But is it boring or interesting? Okay, so let's continue for some more time. So, first is to find the unsatisfactoriness. Then we come to the next one, where now we need to remove the 10 immoral deeds, becoming a Sotapanna. Now, before we come to Sotapanna, we have struggled so far. So that means we have understood that everything is an unsatisfactory experience or creates dissatisfaction. So there is no contentment. Nobody can be contented. Now we have seen various philosophies. Having seen various philosophies, we first have to have faith established somewhere. So now the question comes, on what basis a faith has to be established? On what basis a faith shouldn't be established? Faith should be established like this. The first thing what everybody needs to know is that Raga, Dvesha and Moha are creator of the world. Raga, Dvesha, Moha are the thing which creates an obstacle for Nibbana. Any philosophy can be anything. Any philosophy that can teach without difficulty how to remove Raga, Dvesha, Moha, that's the right philosophy. So what are we in search for? Greed will take you to Deva, but makes you come back. Dvesha will take you directly into animal. Moha can be in any realm. From Brahma realm to the lower realm, Moha. Deluded. What is unreal is treated real. Simple. So any philosophy which can demonstrate how to get into Deva realm, and you should be able to go there whenever you want. How to become a Brahma, and you should be able to go whenever you want. Establish there. Your mind should be established as a Deva and a Brahma. Physically, not physically. Your mind established as Deva and Brahma. What happens? The environment outside will change. You will never get an opportunity to interact with people who are not of that kind. I'll give some examples, practical examples. I'm driving my car. Another car comes in between. I put on brakes. In a normal circumstances, that person will come out, check the bumper, then abuse, then go. Then I come out of the car, then I get angry, I'm sweating. So then we have a verbal duet, and after some time hands will start to work. Then a lot of people will assemble. Some people will go to his car, steal whatever they want and go away. Some people will come into my car, steal whatever things and go away, and ultimately we keep fighting, and then the police comes and blah blah, all that happens. This is when my mind is animalistic and his mind is animalistic. What is my mind is Deva. Now, when this real problem happens, you smile at him. There's no anger. Now, he has come out to abuse you, and you're just standing there and saying, "It's okay, sir, happens. I have not hit your car. You have braked, I braked, simple. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you banged. Oh, sorry. Go on. You take your car, go on. If at all it happens that way. And when you really work in a better way on the removal of 10 akusala, you will never get involved with such things. On the road or wherever, no dog will attack you. Okay, I can see it on my road. There are at least 12 stray dogs. So when I walk, I am walking on the center of the road. They either take to the pavement, or they go and wait at one corner till I cross the road. And it looks like it's a coincidence. So I've tried it out. Every time I come out of the home, every time a dog sees me, it doesn't come near me. Wherever it is, whether on my road or some other road or whatever it is. But if I fear the dog, then that is the scenario is different. So if I apply metta on the dog, looking at how it became a dog in the first place, then its reaction is totally different. it feels that energy, it doesn't do anything. So that means when your mind is very pure, you'll never get involved with anything. 99% of the time. Maybe bad luck, just like Mahamoggallana, due to his past deeds, there were bandits who hit him so badly that he died of bleeding. And in that bleeding, he crawled towards Buddha and left his breath, even being an arhat. So the question was asked to Buddha, why did your favorite disciple die in such a bad situation? So he had to pay back for what he had done in his earlier lives. Only in that circumstances, a dog might bite you, a snake might bite you, or anything can happen. Somebody might kill you, somebody might steal, somebody might kidnap, or all those things can happen. But in general, you will never be in any problem. Okay, now what if I get into problem? Simple. Next life. They'll kill you, fine. Definitely, you will either die on your own or you will die, somebody kills you. But if you are not having the dasa akusala, you will never be born here. So what's the problem? So there's no problem. So like that we can see the benefit. So how should I now follow? Is I need to get a faith that this, what I can say, this philosophy, it's like I have not found any philosophy or any teaching which directly affects the mind than the Buddha. Shankara is close, but not quite right. Other than Shankara, I don't find anybody else who's close enough. But perfect is Buddha. There's nobody as perfect as Buddha. Now if I go by the Buddha, it's a yogasana for the mind. So yogasana is for the body also, but this is yogasana for the mind. So I can be in any religion, following any custom, but I can do the yogasana for the mind using the Buddha. So I can get a Buddha mind. And basically, if I have that faith and conviction that this Dhamma, what Buddha has experienced himself, can become a refuge, then I get faith in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So what I need to first establish is the Buddha Vandana. After knowing that life is unsatisfactory and knowing that there is this 10 immoral deed, and the next thing I'm going to do is to really put only Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Now my question comes, what if I have other teachers, other tradition, and they also talk almost like on the lines of Buddha? Now that I don't have an answer that you should follow or you should not follow. I'm very neutral to that. But if you closely watch, you are causing, or I'm causing the mind to get into multiple reflexes. It starts associating with that. Also it starts associating with this. To an extent that the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha might not get properly established. So it is recommended that you drop everything for Buddha Dhamma Sangha if the goal is liberation. Meaning liberation as in anagami and above. Anagami is very good, but the excellent one is liberation. If you want, or if I want liberation, in my case, I can't choose anybody else as my teacher other than Buddha. Okay, even though I have knowledge about other traditions, fine, it's good. But I need to fill the gap using the Buddha. So let's say I strongly believe in Shankara. Fine, fair, no issues. I believe in Jesus. Fine, no problem. I believe in somebody. Fine, that belief system is good. Follow it. But as far as the mental development goes, as far as the yogasana for mind goes, we need to have Buddha only. So the belief system what I am having is good enough, no issues on that. It will help. But if I don't fill up the gap using the Buddha teaching, then the gap is going to be there because of two reasons. Either I will get a knowledge that world is unreal or world is an illusion, or I get to hear that world is always real. Here world is always illusion, world is always real. Both are wrong. Now the question comes, what is right? World is an illusion. True, but only when conditioned. So what if it is unconditioned? Well, world never exists if it's unconditioned. That means, if true, world is an illusion. If false, world is real. So then what happens? Those philosophies which talks about world is an illusion is true, but actually when it is conditioned, it is untrue. Meaning you are able to experience the pain, you are able to experience. So that means I get to a thinking that world always exists or the world never existed. Now how do I resolve this mystery? And this is where Paticcasamuppada will work. Okay, now this is the thing what Buddha found. His major 6 years journey, where he heard that either world is real or world is an illusion. Some saints believing that world is real taught him those jhanas where he was able to see world really exist. Then he learned some jhanas which showed that world doesn't exist. So he saw the arupa and rupa. So when he went into the arupa jhanas, he found out that neither perception nor non-perception. Will is the last one, where you find there is no world, but yet there is a world. So Jagat Satya, Jagat is also Mithya. Now that's the equation. So that's the highest point anybody can go, that Jagat is Mithya. That's the highest point. But that's not the end point. There is one another step, just one another step, the last step, and then it ends. And this is the ninth one what he found. So, when we see every philosophies, every tradition, there is faith game, there is belief game, there is devotion game, there's all kind of games. It is good. Nothing to blame anyone on that. So for those mind where the mind is completely disturbed, cannot stay even for a second, better to go with some deity. So we can take Buddha, we can take Rama, Krishna, Jesus, Muhammad, this, that, whatever. Anyway, in the Muslim, they don't have any deity, which is good. So you take whatever you want as your belief system. It's good to do that. Then the jhanas will start to develop. So when the jhanas start to develop, you come to a stage of arupa jhana. The first arupa jhana takes to the infinite space. There's some people who get stuck there because so nice, can go at will to arupa. So you'll be reborn in that place. Then they go to infinite consciousness. Then they're again reborn there because now they see I am the creator. And they get into the Brahma realm. Beautiful. Then next is they get into nothingness. There's nothing. Shunya. So they get born there because they all see that everything is Shunya. Then the last one, neither perception nor non-perception. You cannot perceive anything of the world, but yet you are in the world. You are in the Jagat, but there's no Jagat at all. It's something which cannot be explained. And it's the highest. If born there, that person is in millions and millions and millions and millions of years. Is there, unmindful of what is happening. It's the purest state to exist. And Buddha found there is another step. Otherwise, all along people wanted to establish in the Arupa Jhana of 8th. And then they found out, then Buddha found out, this is not yet done. Because the perception of the world, the feeling of the world is so subtle, but it still exists. Then he said, this one ends that. Sanya Vedaita Nirodha. So now there is no I. Now I can't say I exist in the subtlest form also. Now it's gone. There's nothing. Not that nothingness. Not that shunya. This real nothing. You can't say this or that. This creates that. That creates this. Both are not there. Then what? Sorry, that's all. How to experience it? So that's all what we saw in the Mahavedala Sutta. How does he come out? He should have Abhisankara. So the question about that, is it like death? No. Is it alive? No. That's surprising. So he asked a question. So what's the difference between a dead body and this person? The dead body, these things are not there. In this, these things are there, but other things are not there. It's equivalent to death. Equivalent to death. Okay. It's like deep sleep? No. Deep sleep is 8th jhana. It's not 9th. There is the world, but you are not aware of the world. That's what it is. So if I become proficient in the 8th jhana in broad daylight, with the family, with the office, I can be sleeping to the world, awakened from inside. But the world exists, which is still 8 jhana. The 9th one is the truth, unconditioned. And that unconditioned is what conditions everything, and hence there is no rebirth. So this is what we need to do it. So unsatisfactoriness, dasa akusala removal, then Buddha Dhamma Sangha establishment. Then the next class we'll see what else that needs to be done. Okay, thank you so much.
Can we keep up the request about establishment?
Yeah, next that is going to come, because as a part of the Dasa Akusala we need to do that, so we will establish it.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. And thanks to both of you and those people who joined from train to listen. It's nice. Good. Okay then, Namo Buddhaya, and we will again, are we going to meet up tomorrow? 6 p.m.
Okay.
Tomorrow we can spend 2 hours, including establishing metta.
Okay.
Okay, good night then.
Good night.
Namo Buddhaya.
Okay.